Alright, so this is going to be my initial impressions on the new Razer Viper V3 Pro. I did buy this with my own money, and this is just initial impressions. This is not a full review. That should be coming later this week. Like and sub, comment, all the links in the description and everything to save money. And yeah, so I did just get this mouse. I basically just charged it to 100%, and then I installed Synapse and enabled 8K hertz, stuff like that, and I've never had more trouble getting a mouse to show up on a software. I'll explain it when I get into the software. This software on this mouse, Synapse, is awful. It is the worst software ever. I hope they do something about it. It's awful. But aside from that, in the box you get your 8K dongle. 8K hertz is not enabled by default. You have to go into the software and set it. You get this huge cable to support the 8K hertz. It's like a Corsair keyboard cable. That's the best way to explain it. Obviously, I did get mine in white. Comes in at $160, 55 grams. Gen 3 optical switches, which feel completely different than the V2 Pros, and the Focus Pro Gen 2 sensor, which goes up to 35K DPI, and you can change it in steps of 1. So the first thing I noticed when I took this out of the box, and speaking of the box, all you get is grips, your dongle, and cable, so there's really nothing to show. You get this mouse that doesn't look like a V2 Pro at all. The best way to explain the shape is a less flared out, which flares are like how it comes out in the front. Like the LA1 has big back flares. You can see right here it flares. A less flared out version of the Air 58. That's how it feels to me. It is not a small mouse. It is a big mouse. Or the Death Adder V3 Pro, just not ergonomic, just straight. The coating is different from the V2 Pro. There's no PBT-like feeling, and the quality on this mouse is insane. There is zero wobble on any of my clicks, and sorry for my fingers. I know I gotta stop picking my nails, but there is zero wobble, zero side button play. The feet are massive. I can't really speak on how the feet are. They look decently thick. They're huge. And you get an indicator on the top of the mouse. You get a power and DPI button on the bottom. Your sensor is in the middle sensor placement, and you can feel this Razer logo like when you put your hand on it. Like if you put your back of your hand, you definitely can feel it. I have no kind of rattling. I cannot make the side walls flex, creak, nothing, no matter how hard I try. Yeah, the hump is absolutely huge in the middle of the mouse, and this is not a fingertip mouse. This is most definitely a claw palm mouse. And let's get into the software specifically. So I'll tell you the story of what I had to deal with. So basically, if I can even get this on the screen, there we go. So first I downloaded this software right here. This is the standard Synapse, and nothing was showing up. So I installed the beta software, which you'd think new mouse, it would be on the newest firmware, which it's not. It's a bunch of old random stuff on their newest firmware software, which makes no sense. And then I had to find myself that you have to manually update the dongle and the mouse, both of them manually. And that is to get your mouse to show up and to get 8,000 hertz to work. You will not get those things to work. It might say it works. Like you have to update the firmware to even get the mouse to show up to begin with, which is a pain because they don't say that. It should just auto update. There's no reason you should have to go on the website and scroll down and look through 400 firmwares just to find it. Just they're a big enough company to figure out how to auto update it. And then I had to uninstall the beta software because that was not the right one. It makes you restart your computer when you install it and when you uninstall it. So that's already 2 times restarting my computer. It's 4 times because I had already installed the standard software. Then I reinstalled the standard software. I have to restart my computer again, and then I set all my stuff. It finally shows up, crashes, all kinds of stuff, and now it finally shows up. And yeah, you have your battery status, performance. You can change your X and Y DPI in steps of 1. You want to use 3200 or over for 8000 hertz, so you can get enough saturation to the point where you will be able to feel 8000 hertz. Your standard DPI is going to be, or your standard polling rate is going to be 1000. If you do not have the software installed, it will be 1000 on your 8000 hertz dongle. You have to have the software installed for 8000 to be enabled. So if you see anybody without Synapse and they're using the V3 Pro and they say they're on 8000 hertz, they are not. They are on 1000 hertz. Power, sleep mode, low power mode, calibration. This is pretty cool. So you have 3 different modes, or not this. You'll see. Low is what I use. Medium you can use. High would be for glass pads. Performance, calibrate. So for example, Razer sensitivity tends to be higher per mouse than other brands. So like 800 on the ULX might be 880 on the Razer. So you can calibrate your DPI of your other mouse and it will automatically change it to whatever that one is. So yeah. But that's really it. There's not much for the software here. The battery is already down 12% from, or 11%, whatever that is, from, I would say about not very long. So we'll see how that is. But yeah, that's really it. There's not much to it. That's going to be in this video. Full review soon. Peace.